Hello everyone, welcome to an apologetically late Fight the Night review. I would have gotten this done sooner, but I was expecting to get my hair cut at some point today because I was supposed to get it done yesterday, and then it didn't happen. It's not happened today either, but this might be the last time you see me with hair this long because I'm getting it all just completely fucking buzzed off. But that aside, yeah, Fight the Night we have to talk about, which was Jose Mariscal versus Morgan Charriere, a French name. And it was the fight of the night. I believe it was on the prelims at the Apex Center. Apex, and yeah, it went all 3 rounds. So I've got to break it down bit by bit, bob by bob, and tell you the best things I can remember from it, which are usually with the help of these notes that I've got down. So yeah, let's go. We begin with round 1, and Jose, or as he's otherwise called El Chepe, starts with some really good leg kicks. Morgan lands a punch, Jose goes for the first takedown, but Morgan rolls with him and gets into a sprawl going for an anaconda. Morgan gives it up pretty quickly, but he does hold position, smothering Jose until he gets up, attempting a trip and pushing Morgan against the cage and clinch. They both throw some knees, but it's Jose with the control despite Morgan throwing some good knees, and Jose attempts a single leg takedown, but Morgan defends well and backs out of it. Jose lands a nice right, throwing some more shots and pushing Morgan against the cage, mostly just holding Morgan against the fence and throwing the odd shot here and there while eating some knees to the body from Jose. They break away for a bit and Jose lands some good shots and attempts another takedown, but Morgan turns it around and has Jose against the cage for a few moments before Jose turns it around again and lands a really big right hand, as I've written it down here, a wanging right hand. He has Morgan in a clinch and sort of gets a takedown and holds the front headlock, but Morgan escapes and gets his own takedown, and the two trade the odd straightened kick, with Jose closing the round with some wild speedy shit, not really landing any of it. But round 1, I'm giving to Jose. I just felt like, even though he wasn't getting the takedowns he wanted, he was using his grappling really well, and it was to more execute his game plan, which is, he's really good in the pocket, and he wasn't really able to do that, and there's no real reason why, because I think Morgan's like 1 inch taller, but that reach is identical at 69 inches, which is nice, as I've been reliably informed over the years. Yeah, it was a pretty good round, I would say. Nothing super exceptional. I've never really reviewed a round before. I do think Jose did do enough to win round 1, in my opinion. He just had better clinch control and grappling, and his striking was a lot better too. Even though he was landing the odd hand here and there, it was when he was throwing his kicks that he was at his most effective. He just didn't really get many attempts to show that off because he was so focused on trying to get the takedown. And across to Morgan, he did hold out quite well in round 1, but I'm giving round 1 to Jose ultimately. We then get to round 2. They feel each other out for a fair bit. Jose lands another leg kick, Morgan lands a really good body kick and a 1-2 down the pipe, and as he closes in on Jose, he hits a really nasty overhand right from Jose. Jose keeps trying to move in and out, avoiding a head kick just barely, and the two are mostly at a stalemate as the pace of the fight starts to relax by this point. Morgan lands a couple more punches, eats another leg kick but blocks a high one, and there's a bit of a scramble as Jose tries to push Morgan to the cage, but Morgan manages to escape. The two throw more heavy punches, with Morgan going more to the body and then the head, continuing to mix it up. Jose lands a good left at the pocket, but Morgan walks him against the cage and keeps getting the better of the close-up exchanges. Jose lands a good body kick, but he stumbles after going for another one as Morgan goes for a leg kick, sort of wobbling him a little bit, sort of trips him but doesn't really fully land on the ground. Morgan gets a takedown and goes for Jose's back. Jose gets back up for a little bit, but Morgan German suplexes Jose down, essentially, holding him against the cage, and the two swap shots, with Jose landing a massive teep, like a sort of almost a haluva kick style teep, but getting taken down again as the round ends. And I'm giving round 2 to Morgan, so basically the same reason that Jose was doing well in round 1, Morgan was doing well in round 2, mostly with the grappling, especially that takedown he got at the end after eating that nasty kick. He was landing some really good strikes too, especially when he started mixing it up to the head and to the body. I do think Jose was standing quite well with him, and he started to execute his game plan a little bit better because he was finding new angles to get inside of Morgan's guard and actually managing to land the shots a bit more. But Morgan was able to mostly defend quite well. He still ate some nasty stuff, but I'm giving round 2 to Morgan. I do think he was starting to find his rhythm a bit better in round 2. We then get to the third and final round. Jose throws a few kicks, but Morgan keeps him pressure with the punches, even throwing a good head kick, but eating some shots from Jose in the pocket. Morgan keeps throwing stuff, but Jose puts together a combo, starting with a leg kick, and then just throws a shitload of different kind of punches, and even a knee before Morgan slips away and gets a really smooth takedown to counter. Morgan gets to a half guard and starts with some ground and pound, mostly just smothering Jose and even getting to side control. Jose manages to wall walk though and escapes, going for a standing guillotine and using it to get into some dirty boxing before going for another takedown against the cage and almost getting caught in a DOS in the process. Jose escapes and Morgan keeps him in sprawl. Jose gets a takedown and tries to go for the mount. Instead of getting to half guard, Jose gets in some good shots though, even getting a backside mount and landing some more, considering to land stuff as the round and fight ends, while like Morgan, there's a point where Morgan sort of rolls onto his back and gives up more shots. But yeah, the round and the fight ends, and we're giving round 3 to Jose, so let's talk about it. So Jose would actually win by split decision, even though there was one judge that gave Morgan all 3 rounds, which I don't really agree with. I mean, rounds 2, probably. I mean, it was probably the round he did the best in, and I do score the round for Morgan myself, but I think Jose did enough in rounds 2 and 3. I thought this was a pretty good fight, honestly. I don't know if it will be in my top 10. I do think that there was not a lot of variety in the fight. You know, there wasn't a lot of super back and forth moments. There were some really big moments, and the grappling was really nice, but it didn't really feel like a lot really happened. There was also some notable dips, especially in round 2. When it came to the action, it did feel a bit stale at certain points, and which is weird for featherweights. Usually they're a lot more energetic than this, but it was still a really fun fight, I would say. Again, I don't have a top 10 maker, but I've got no disagreements with Jose winning by split decision. I do think that's the right call. And yeah, go check it out for yourself. Obviously, it's still a pretty good fight, and I will say of the Apex fight so far, it's probably my least favourite, and it's weird to think that the Apex has been putting on better fights than actual crowds in the UFC cards, so yeah, that's kind of odd. But go and check this one out yourself. It's a good bit of fun between 2 pretty talented prospects. That'll about do it from me though. The next thing you'll see me for will probably be Music of the Week on Thursday. And then after that, a reaction. I've got a few lined up that I'm really looking forward to doing. The next one might be the new Knox Loose track. I haven't listened to it yet, so it'll be fun to go over that. And also, on Friday, Break Even, my next pay-per-view. I've gotten the arena made. I know they don't watch my videos, but shout out to Cara for making the logo for me. They did a really good job. And yeah, I'll see you all for that shit. That's really all I can think of to say. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye.